many, the townships of South Africa are a place of poverty, violence, and despair. Circumstance and a lack of identity has caused a whole generation to fall into a vicious cycle of substance abuse. Broken homes have produced a broken community. Gangs rule the streets. Jobs are scarce. Disease is rife. And the way out seems beyond reach. All the while, it's the children that suffer the most. But there is hope. Life was started 13 years ago as an outreach to those children in the community mired in poverty, neglect, and abuse. Today, it is a fully fledged ministry that reaches about 2,500 children 7 days a week with one goal in mind: to treat each child with the utmost love, dignity, and respect, just as Christ showed the world.
We asked the Lord to break our hearts with what breaks His heart. And when we saw the plight of the children in George, that broke our hearts.
We have programs that the children attend, but apart from the programs, it's building an ongoing relationship.
The ministry has a holistic approach which caters for every area of a child's life, whether it's their mind, their spirit, their soul, their body. And we just realized that these little ones are broken.
So Life is a very important organization, a grassroots organization, who strive to meet the baseline need of children and youth in the community.
The ministry operates out of 8 centers located in some of the most poverty-stricken areas in the city of George. The ages of the children reached spans from 0 to 18 years, and the programs are set up to cater for these age groups specifically. The basic program is held at the centers. During this time, the children are given sound biblical teaching, basic education, a healthy meal, and most importantly, love.
The centers are located in the community. We just feel that it's important to take the ministry to the children and not bring the children to the ministry, so that they could be easily reached and so that they have easy access to resources to assist them. At the centers, we start in the mornings with the preschool program. It addresses the need for foundational education. These little ones have nobody at home teaching them, training them. In fact, when they come to us, many of them don't even know their names. We do different activities to develop their gross motor skills, their fine motor skills, their conversational skills, their numeracy and literacy. All these aspects that any mother would do at home with their children, we do for these little ones at our preschool programs. And above all, we just love on them because they come there, they need mommy love, they need care, they've got scathed and bumped toes, and we just address all the needs that the little ones have. Clean them up, we feed them and love on them. Running our preschool programs, we found more and more that there are children who need more than just a 3 or 4 hour preschool program, because their siblings have to drop them and get to school. So we started 3 creches. This is one of them. Why the education system is failing is because there's no foundation. It's like a house. If you don't have a good foundation, the house is going to fall. And also, there are no parents to teach them. A lot of children are child-headed and child-run families. We've got 5 classrooms. We've got qualified teacher in each classroom. We've got the 3-year-old, the 3-4-year-old, the 4-5, and then we've got a kindergarten or a grade R class. We also have a hall where we can feed the children and do activities. Then what we did, we built in a U shape so that the courtyard is undercover. When it rains, children can still play outside because we've got the fake grass. They have breakfast in the morning, then they have a program all day, lunch in the afternoon, rest late in the afternoon, and they go home at about 5 o'clock. So it's a full package and full care for 130 little ones in this facility. In the afternoons after 2, the bigger children come to the center, which has been cleaned up and prepared for them. We start off with a time of just games and connecting. After that, we have word and worship. We do some life skills with them, and after everything, we give them a hot meal. It's very important in our programming to give them this meal, as nutrition plays such an important role in the development of any child or young person. For many of the children, the food we give them every day is the only meal they receive.
The Aftercare and Education Centre has developed out of our community centre programs, and the emphasis is to provide safe care in the afternoon for school-going age children, but with a greater emphasis on their education. So we have worship, we do a lot of life skills training, but every day we pay attention to each child's education needs. So we find out what the curriculum is that they're following within their school, and we encourage them and build on their schoolwork in a way to provide a bigger picture for them in terms of their education.
Life offers several other programs, such as Back to School, a children's choir, weekly discipleship and youth programs, and clothing collection and distribution to those in need.
The choir, music, singing fulfills a huge need in the lives of the children. And I really believe that we have a time set aside for choir, for worship, that the children go home with a song in their heart, a song of joy, just something that gives them hope. Apart from that, we know that music is a wonderful form of therapy, and the children live under a huge amount of stress. And just being together, having a time of singing and celebrate, it's got nothing to do with how well you sing, it's just that joyful noise. It's not really performances, but it's more being able to just show the greater community these children have incredible talent. They are capable of so much. And I think that they're wonderful ambassadors for the kingdom. Our heart is that our children should be living in wonderful, Christian, safe, godly families. And for many of them, this is absolutely impossible in the situations that they are now. So we are very intent in developing foster homes within their community where they live now. So children would be removed by welfare and placed in our foster home, and we hope in the future homes, where they live as a normal family. They are safe. The home is run by a foster mom or a foster couple who are Christians. There's just loads of care. There's just no stress. The children are well looked after. They have a place where they're able to discover themselves, who they are, their ID, their identity, and their purpose. And the progress in those 6 children in the last year who came from absolute destitute situations is fantastic, absolutely wonderful. Stable children in the top 5 in their schools, really doing very, very well emotionally, spiritually, and we're thrilled with the whole concept. So sustainable development has 2 aspects of life. The first is we have a program where we've employed 6 ladies to work on a full-time basis, 3 of whom were young people in our programs. They're orphaned, they're now in their early 20s, and they progressed from our programs to working for us at Life, where we could educate them with a skill which going forward would provide an income for them and for their households. So the 6 ladies work full-time, and they do handwork. So they crochet, they knit, they sew, and they earn an income, but Life sells the product and it provides an income for us at Life. And that income is plowed into the programs that we have. But apart from that, these 6 ladies have to, once a week, work with our children to impart the skills that they've been taught so that they will not get to age 15, 16 and not have any skills.
The garden project has really grown from where we started with a couple of tires, and now we've got one side of our property under gardens where we grow spinach and carrots and onions and you name it, and we grow it. We also have a tunnel where we develop our own seedlings, grow them and then plant them out into the beds. The children are skilled in the tire gardening project where they learn to garden in a tire, and they take that home, and children can have their own gardens at home. They know why it's important for them to have vegetables, and they get trained at life to have their own vegetable gardens at their homes. The gardens have now developed so well that when we have a surplus, we can sell the vegetables, and that money gets plowed back into buying seeds, and the process starts all over again.
I grew up with both my parents drinking. I had to look after my brother and my sister.
Ek het nie 'n goeie lewe gehad nie en ek was net 'n stout seun gewees. Ek na my ma geluister het. Mense het begin sê ook nee dat ek gaan niks bereik in die lewe nie. Totdat daar wat ek gesê het nee vir myself, ek gaan nie meer die lewe lei nie.
I heard this noise, but it was actually children singing. I couldn't understand what's going on. And I went to the center and I saw Auntie Morena there. I was like, who's this?
Waar gehoor het waar my vriende vir my gesê het nee, dat ek moet na Life toe kom. Life is 'n goeie plek. Hulle leer ons van die woord. Mense daar is ook so ouers vir jou. Hulle jaap so, hulle wys jou regte pad waar jy moet loop.
Like, wow. And I was 9 years old at that time. And there was this invitation asking us if we want to give our lives to Jesus. I'm like, wow, I'm going to do it. And ever since that, I've been at Life, and Life just changed everything.
Ek gesê vir myself, nee, ek wil ook soos die mense word eendag. Ek wil ook weet wat hulle wees. Ek wil ook vir ander kinders wys wat ek kan doen, wat ek gekry het en vir hulle kan leer. En toe dis waar ek my lewe vir die Here gegee het.
They helped me to finish school because they actually just asked me, what's your dream? And I was like, I want to be a dance teacher. And they entered me to this ballet school and started going there for 6 years. Didn't know anything about ballet. It was quite a struggle to point my feet and everything.
Waar jy nou bly, as jy waar jy gaan woon nie. Jy dieper ding om te doen. In jou hart, wie jy jouself, jy kan dit bereik. Die potensiaal wat jy het, kan jy meer dinge doen in lewe. Al wat jy moet doen is jy moet net geloof hê.
I would have been anywhere by now. As I look back to all my friends who used to come to Life and just dropped out, I would have, if I chose to drop out with them, I would have been pregnant like they were, on drugs like they were, probably dead like most of them are. And I just thank God every day, because if Life hasn't been there, I would have been lost basically if it wasn't for Life.
My lewe, wat is my lewe nou? Ek sou nou buite gewees het, deel van die ander kinders. Dagga gerook, of waar in die strate meisies afgeslaan, mense gerop vir hulle goede wat nie myne is nie. Ek sou nou 'n woes lewe gehad het. Volgens die duiwel se planne sou ek geleef het en nie die Here se planne nie. Ek sou nie gewees waar nou is nie, was dit vir die Here nie.
So when we bring Jesus to them, we've got to give them a hope. We've got to give them a hope for a future which they don't have. And this is what we strive to do at Life Community Services, is to give them a hope and a future, to give them a hope that there is a better life, not just in the life hereafter, but even while they're on this earth. And in striving to do that, we have all these programs in place to let them see another side of life, let them see something that brings light into their lives out of the darkness that they come from.
To have hope is to have a desire and a goal to get out of the situation that they're living in. Well, Life Community Services at the moment for most of the children provides everything that they need to get there, to get somewhere by next year. What am I going to be dreaming about in a year's time? And to take their focus off that slum situation and realize I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to choose God and choose this journey of hope.